As far as elections in Zimbabwe go, 2023 failed the credibility test. But that has become the norm for polls since the year 2000. It is a fact that ZANU-PF relies on theoretically independent state institutions to align with and actively promote its 43-year reign. It is also a fact that the leading opposition party lacks the ability and strategic capacity to overcome the obstacles towards a free and fair election, even though these obstacles have remained unchanged since the rise of a popular opposition more than 20 years ago. The campaigns of both parties were marked by an abuse of resources. ZANU-PF used its unlimited funds linked to control of the treasury, parastatals, and opaque business dealings to conduct the largest mobilization of citizens in the country's history. That the party had to add to its normal intimidation the promise of free chicken and chips to ensure people got on the buses provided was an acknowledgement that the rallies had little else to offer. The rallies and enormous crowds were just ticking boxes to convince observers that ZANU-PF still had overwhelming support, despite the continuing collapse of the economy, education, the health services, and all other essential services. The ruling party did not even bother with the manifesto of promises. On the other hand, the Citizens Coalition for Change used, abused, and squandered the most valuable asset of all, the hopes and dreams of millions of suffering citizens desperate for change. Their leader, Nelson Chamisa's rallies were full of flash, spectacle, and promises of businesses, bullet trains, hospitals, schools, and careers for everyone. They even produced a manifesto. And as for overcoming the predictable obstacles of the ruling party's rigging, Chamisa told his supporters not to fret, as he assured them that God is in it. As become apparent in the immediate aftermath of voting, God does not get involved in the political machinations of man or woman. From multi-stage rallies pre-voting to a single podium in a garden post-polls, the CCC campaign quickly unraveled. God is in it was replaced by assurances that the party had evidence of the rigging and how it was done. One nation, one vision. How the CCC, a political party without a constitution or structures, sourced the millions of dollars required to register its candidates and conduct its rallies across the country is unknown. But what is apparent is that little, if any, of those finances were invested in the crucial post-election protection of the ballots cast by their supporters. SADC observers had condemned the conduct of the polls, but rather than join in the condemnation, the CCC held on to the belief that they could still win the presidential ballot, thereby implicitly agreeing that the results for councils and parliament were valid.
The next step is that we are ready to form the next government on account of correct.
When the CCC realized it wasn't going to be declared the winner, the party changed its tune to condemn the conduct of the polls, but it was too late. The fat lady had already sung.
Mnangagwa Emerson Dambudzo of ZANU-PF party has received 2,350,711 votes.
In a 6-minute appearance shortly before midnight on the Saturday after Wednesday's polls, the Zimbabwe Electoral Commission announced that Emerson Mnangagwa had won 52.6% of the presidential poll. before quickly removing detailed figures of results from its own website.
is declared duly elected President of the Republic of Zimbabwe.
The delay by CCC in denouncing the conduct of the polls gave the SADC leadership old guard time to gang up against its own observers, creating the opportunity for muted but increasing messages of congratulations for the proclaimed winner. The conduct of the polls by ZEC was a travesty. The lack of access to detailed voting records is strong circumstantial evidence that a crime may have been committed. But in Zimbabwean politics, as has happened in the past, possession is 9/10 of the law.